Hey guys, all right. So this video is going to be the kickoff for the case studies. Basically, guys, on the first live that I did after like a year plus that I just recently did, camera's acting up already. That I just recently did. I want to say it was like the 8th of July, so like kind of like a little bit of beginning of this month. On the YouTube pop-up live, I was just talking and chatting with you guys about different things, and I told you guys that we were going to start talking about case studies, that God had given me case studies and different things like that. And so finally, guys, this first one that I have, I'm going to read this to you guys. And before I get into this, I just want to say this case studies is something that God gave me, I want to say like a month before last month, or either last month. It was a little while before I gave it or introduced it to you guys. And we're going to do 25. This is number 1. I'm not sure like the dates of how I'm going to be doing them. The video durations will vary. There's going to be different situations. It's going to be practical. It's going to be spiritual. We're going to be talking about all different types of topics and different things like that. Some things nonfiction, some things fiction. So if it's for you, it's for you. You know, the thing that I love about my channel is that it's mine and it's something that God has given me. And every video on this is like, and the playlist on it, it's like it's all a reflection of me and my purpose and what God is doing in my life. So I want to be obedient to that. And if it's for you, you know, that's good, you know, but you know, I just want you guys to just keep that in mind. Yeah, it's versatile. And also, you guys know I have my bachelor's in psychology, so when I think about these type of things, it's like this is like so up my alley. So when he said it at first, I was wondering like, wow, how would I introduce this with the YouTube channel? Because you guys know that I do have like business services with others and everything like that too, which I would never like share that information. That's confidential and stuff like that. But it's like, as I thought about it more, I was like, God, that makes a lot of sense. So it's just taking another step of faith. And July is faith. You know, like a lot of these videos he give me be steps of faith and out my box, you know, but then I realized like that's why he wanted me to do it. So we're going to begin doing this. It's not going to be something we do every day. And it's not going to be something we do all the time. It'll probably be like every once in a while or as he leads. So I'm going to just read you guys what I was working on. I asked him to help me with it because you guys know I have books. I have 3 books and I'm working on my 4th and 5th one now. And some of these characters are from those books though. And that is fiction. That though this book I'm talking about is fiction. So some of it is like these characters from the books, but I mixed it up so it's not like their whole situation, but he was just giving me ideas. So I'm just going to read it to you guys as I wrote it. I'm going to read it to you guys, and you guys let me know below if you like these case studies or if it's for you. Your opinion. That's the purpose of the case studies, for us to come together and just kind of like share what we think. You know, so I'm just going to read this to you. This is case study 1 and this is scenario 1. If you guys hear my son coming here, he's going to be going to bed soon. Today has been pretty busy, guys, but I want to make time to record this because it's something that he's been telling me that I've been needing to do for a couple of weeks. So now I'm here. So thanks for bearing with me for that 3-minute conversation. All right, so here's scenario 1. Hope it makes sense to you guys. Okay. Cassandra has been married to Mike for 10 years. Okay. Cassandra has been married to Mike for 10 years. This is not a real situation, but I want you guys to just, you know, it's our case study. Case study number 1. Cassandra has been married to Mike for 10 years. They have been together for 15 years. So they were together, you know, for 15 years, but they were not married during those 5 years. They were married for 10 years, you know. So out of the 15, 5, you could say like they were just dating, courting, but they've been married for 10, okay? But they have known each other since they were teenagers. So you could pretty much say they have a history. And I have to look down because I'm reading it off the laptop. I'll probably be typing them, writing them out, but for now, I'm just work what works best for me. Okay, so they have a history. They also have young twin girls, ages 7. So they have twin girls who are 7 years old. Cassandra didn't really have her mom growing up. And with her mom's lifestyle of addiction and substance abuse, Cassandra's aunt raised her. Despite abandonment from her mom, Cassandra says that she doesn't have any trust issues, but she does place security. Example, like being financially secure. I'm having like a lot of money, having close knit relationships, like really close knit relationships. Like it's her world with the relationships, and you have to be close to her. And you know, she puts a big emphasis on that. Okay, so having close knit relationships, and she places a lot of emphasis on love and affection at the top of her list. Mike has told her, so Mike is her husband, right? Let me go down. Mike has told her that she often overcompensates with her definition of quote unquote security, and that it places an unrealistic and unspoken strain on him. Cassandra felt offended at first because he has told her this like maybe a couple years after their marriage. So it's something that repeatedly comes up. It's not an elephant in the room. It's something that he's addressing, but it's kind of like she's brushing it off. So Cassandra felt offended at first, but pushed past it since both she and he have history. So to her, it's like it's really not a big deal. Have history, they have kids, and the world that she never got growing up that she has created with Mike. So to her, it's like it's not a big deal. You know, we have these kids. You know, me and you have created this world, or really, it's like she kind of have pulled him into her world, if you think, you know, because he's feeling different things, and then they just have history. So to her, it's like you should just understand. I'm your wife. Like you should just understand. You know, I'm just trying to paint a scenario for you guys as it was going in my mind as I was typing it. Okay. She sees nothing wrong with this, with him like telling her these things. She says nothing wrong with this, and when her best friend Aid hints at some of these same things. Hold on one second, guys. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so she sees nothing wrong with this, and when her best friend Aid, which is Adrian in the book, but it's a totally different scenario in the book with these people, like some deep stuff that's in the book. You guys just have to read it if you haven't read it yet. So this whole thing is like a whole switch, all of it. But okay, so she sees nothing wrong with this, and when her best friend Aid hints at some of these things. Oh God, sorry guys. I'm so sorry. Like the balance, because I'm holding it. I'm on my son's little play area. I was on the bed recording at first, but it just, I don't know. So it just, I don't know. Just bear with me, guys. It's this setup. Y'all just looked at my son's toy box. I got to make it work. Okay, guys. So let's finish with this. Okay, so she sees nothing wrong with this, and when her best friend Aid, guys, I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to. I think that'll be better. I'm really sorry, guys. It's one of those days. I'm not editing this. I'm not doing none of that. This is just real and raw. Okay, guys. So basically, when A hints at some of these same things, like to Adrian, so Mike is her husband. You know, so Mike is gonna be different than what her best friend Aid is Aid is Adrian, but Aid than what Aid is giving, because they're both relationally attached to her, but in different ways. There's things Mike gonna be able to give her that Adrian can't. There's things Adrian gonna be able to give her that Mike can't. And not taking anything out of context, but you know, husband and best friend. See what I'm saying? But Aid hints at some of these same things. She brushes her off as well. So you've been brushing her off. And some of you may say, well, how long has she been knowing Adrian? She's actually known Adrian longer than Mike. Like you could say like childhood best friends. Or you could say like childhood best friends. Okay. So she brushes her off as well. Emotionally, Cassandra feels better than where she was years ago. But mentally, she thinks over and over again about what both Mike and Aid are saying. Mike has offered for them, like he's come and talked to her. Mike has offered for them to visit their pastor of 5 years. So this pastor has been pastoring them for 5 years, right? But Cassandra says that they don't need it. So she's like, we're good. We don't need that. You know, we don't need to see the pastor. And then another thing with her is she doesn't want the pastor in their business. Like she wants people to feel like everything is so picture perfect, you know. Or she brushed that off too. Cassandra says they don't need it. Inwardly, like mentally, emotionally, inside his soul, Mike is drained. He's drained. Cassandra does do well, and this is another reason why kind of like, you know, he continues on, because they're married, and also I'm going to keep reading to tell you guys why, you know, but to him it's like she does do well with certain crafts that she makes and sells from time to time, you know. But most of the financial strain is on Mike because Mike is an engineer, right? So a lot of the financial responsibilities are on him. She's wonderful with the kids and she's a good wife, but her overspending, sideways criticalness, insecurities, screaming matches, and emotional meltdowns, as well as her mentality of just keeping up with the Joneses attitude, has taken a huge toll on him. Sometimes when he makes love to her, they're married, so they're going to be intimate, they're going to have sex, they're going to make love, those things like that. Sometimes when he makes love to her, he can see the child in her that never healed. And then when you are like connected intimately, like with your spouse and different things like that, there's different levels that you guys are going to have. There's different seasons you guys are going to go through, and there are certain intimacies that you guys are going to do. So like he can see his wife, he know her, but when he makes love to her, he can see the child in her that never healed. Instead of cuddling her after sex as his wife, or you could say making love, because it is a difference between making love and having sex, but after doing that intimate bedroom session, let's just say that, right? It sometimes feels as if he's holding the younger her, like the her that never healed. Mike never verbally expresses this, but sometimes he does cut the bedroom session short and she begins her tantrums, which often always lead to her saying that he is cheating on her or wants to cheat on her. This could be further from the truth. Mike is divorced, and we're about to close with this soon. Mike is divorced due to his ex-wife cheating on him repeatedly and openly with a business partner of his. Some of Cassandra's ways really take him back to a very uncomfortable place. His first wife didn't listen to his pleas to her, and their marriage grew worse, which ended, in the divorce. And not saying God is condoning divorce, but let's be honest, sometimes people do go through divorce, not condoning it, but I'm just saying. So Cassandra is reminding him. So Cassandra is like reminding him of that. She's reminding him of that. Overall, they both love one another, and there have been times where he have told her this. Now, this is not real. I'm just saying. There have been times he had told her this, but still she continues to brush it off. Okay? Cassandra is reminding him of that. Overall, they both love one another and care for one another deeply. Mike is thinking about what the next 5 to 10 years of their marriage and lives together will look like and hoping that it's not like this. Cassandra feels that nothing is wrong. What would your advice be to Mike? So this is where we meet below in the comment section. If these type of videos are for you, because I want to hear you guys' advice. And I know some of you are going to be like, well, what's going to be your advice? With these type of case studies, I want to hear y'all advice, and then eventually I'll share like what my advice is. But I want to know what y'all thoughts are, because I'm constantly like telling y'all my thoughts and pouring out and things like that. This is a time where I want to know what you guys think. I want to know how you would handle this situation, or what would be your advice to them. Okay? So what would your advice be to Mike as an individual, as a man, as a person? What would your advice be to him? Do you think he's wrong? Do you think he's right? Is it neutral? What would just your advice be to Mike? What would your advice be to Cassandra as an individual? What would your advice be to her? Do you think she's wrong? Do you think she's right? Do you think it's neutral? And then what would your advice be to them as a married couple? Even though the Bible's talking about in Genesis that the two become one flesh, they are still individual. So they're connected as one. They're one. God sees them as one. But they're still like individual. Like when they get dressed in the morning, they're not both putting on the same clothes. They don't both, like they're still individual people, but they're one, if that makes sense to you. So what would your advice be to him? What would your advice be to her? And then what would your advice be to them as a married couple? And also, what do you think the kids are experiencing? What do you think the kids are experiencing? Because in his mind, it's like we need help. But in her mind, it's like, oh no, whatever's in this house stays in this house, that's it. But he wants to get help. So this is our first case study, guys. There are going to be, hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, let me know below, what you guys think about this first case study. um I didn't want to make it too short, but then I didn't want to make it too long. As I said, as we continue on, we have 24 more to go. We're going to space it out over like a good amount period of time. They're going to be different kinds. Sometimes we may do like 2 to 3 in one session. And like I said, the video times are going to vary. And there's going to be lots of different situations. It's not going to be just one-sided. There's going to be lots of different topics and different things that we talk about. So yeah, so just let me know what you think about it. If you were in this situation, what would you do? How would you feel if you were Cassandra? How would you feel if you were Mike? Just what are your thoughts on it? So thank you guys for watching, and God bless.